Yo, what's up, bro?
All right, what's up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be having an issue with like the
How
entire
you doing?
low multi MFTL thing, bro.
All right, why?
Yes, I'm just gonna scale this character higher than that, obviously. So, would you like me to go over the speed first, or like just like the scaling, bro?
I don't care.
Okay, sure. I'll just go over the speed then first.
Hold on, Calazir. I was tracking. I don't give a shit if you make a post. No, knowing your weird fucking ass, you probably will anyway. So I couldn't give a shit.
Okay, yes, I'm just gonna be going over like the immeasurable speed thing. First I want to know, are you gonna be using the anime or manga in this, bro?
Either or.
Okay, bet. So I'll be using the manga. So can we keep this consistent with the manga then, bro?
Sure.
Okay, bet. So I'm just gonna be using the fact of like when Zeno just erases the future Trunks timeline, we see that the time ring is destroyed, which is gonna indicate the time it's just been completely just annihilated from the entire timeline. Goku's gonna be able to move in this area, which is just gonna entail that he's gonna have movement that's unbounded by time.
Okay, prove that there is no time.
Yeah, I just went over it, the time ring being destroyed.
Yeah, that wouldn't be proving that time was destroyed.
Yeah, did you not just hear me? I literally just went over the fact of time. The timing is just going to completely indicate that time is going to be in that area.
Yeah, that's just not true.
Okay, then tell me, what do you think the timing is going to indicate, bro?
Because the time rings are connected to timeline. Timeline would be connected to universe, right? You would just be talking about the physical structure, but time was still existing.
Okay, what do the Supreme Kai's time? What's the like their main job with like the Supreme Kai, bro?
As a Supreme Kai to monitor the timelines and I guess slash universes.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
One of the rules would be them monitoring the universe and the timelines.
Just monitoring the universe and timeline. Okay, yeah, so we could just like focus on the timeline thing, bro. Can you define timeline for me, bro?
That's what I was doing.
Okay, so that's what I'm just saying. Can you define timeline for me, bro?
Yeah, timeline in the context of Dragon Ball would be universe.
Well, I'm not going to be caring about how you're going to be trying to see it as the context. That's going to be subjective. So you got to define it for me.
I just did.
Okay, you said in the context of Dragon Ball. You didn't give me the actual dictionary definition.
I don't give a shit about the dictionary definition when I'm arguing it because our rules are not always going to be found within fiction and clearly.
Okay, then tell me, why is the context of Dragon Ball just going to not go against the dictionary definition, bro?
Because if you're trying to hold the most consistent argument as to what works within the world of Dragon Ball, and you're going to be trying to say, oh, timeline, therefore time, if the series is going to have a contradiction to what you're thinking, then we can't go with the real world definition. We're going to have to go with how the series defines it.
Okay, I don't know if you like don't know what I was like trying to tell you to do. I want to know, where is the series going to basically go with the definition you're trying to go with?
Yeah, specifically where Bulma's given the explanation about what a parallel timeline is. She pretty much says that it's another way of saying another world, another universe.
Okay, where is this moment going to be from, bro?
I'd have to find it for you.
You said that someone is saying it. Are you saying Bulma is saying it, or someone is saying it?
I said Bulma. Said it.
Bulma is gonna say just gonna be valid, bro.
Yeah, I would just argue that she has the most consistency understanding the actual space time of how Dragon Ball works.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Of how their universe works.
Okay, this is just gonna go circular back to the entire thing. If I were gonna have equal interpretation on like the entire thing with timeline, so we're gonna just have to go over that. So so her just having things about like, she could just have information like universes and just be thinking that this timeline could just be twisted up with these universes. So you can have to give me what is gonna just like indicate that she's gonna have a basis on what a timeline is.
Yeah, if you go with the simple fact that she is just able to, if you want to say that, I don't want to say tap into, but if she's able to build a machine that can have them travel from not just their construct, not just their multiverse, but another multiverse, she would have to be understanding on how the said dimensions would be of how they would be working.
Okay, do you think I have to make a machine on something to have a full basis on it?
If you want the machine to work, you would actually have to understand what you're doing. That's kind of the entire point.
Okay.
Because if you make a machine do something that you like, if you're trying to make a machine about something that you just don't understand, then it's not going to work.
Okay, I just want to know if you're finished or not, because like you pretty much cut me off before. Are you finished fully?
You cut me off.
Yeah, I was about to say something, then I stopped so you could continue. So I just want to know if you're fully finished.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Okay, so that's not gonna go off the fact. So we're basically just gonna go off equal interpretation again. So it's not just gonna be impossible to just create something. So just to basically just have a base. You don't need to have a full basis on something. Just create something. You'd be presupposing that this time machine is fully perfect. So you'd have to add a basis behind that to add why this is gonna be more probable that this time machine is gonna be perfect. If you are unable to do this, then I'm just basically go with my probability over yours due to the fact that mine is gonna lack contradictions.
Yeah, where did I use the word perfect, by the way?
Oh my. You're pretty much going off the fact that she's gonna have to have this full basis on a timeline.
When did I say full?
Oh my god. Then if she's not, then it wouldn't make your argument wouldn't make any sense then.
Why?
Yeah, because she's gonna need to have a full basis if you're gonna try to argue that what she says is valid.
Not if she understands it enough. But I never use the word full. Like, we're just coming down to a basic tracking issue.
Okay, we're not gonna be going off a tracking issue. I'm just gonna basically see this as something that you would have to say due to the fact it wouldn't make any sense if you didn't say this thing. So if you try to say that she wouldn't have to
I don't have to say
finish.
that.
I don't finish. Okay,
I don't have to say that.
Oh my god. I'm in the middle of a sentence.
Oh my god.
So
yeah,
if you're gonna be
because dog.
My god. If you're gonna be trying to say that she doesn't have
unironically 3 times you have misquoted me, and also you're trying to force me into a argument or a premise that I'm not making. My argument, my point. I okay. So what I'm saying is she would have to at least have like a good understanding on how the dimensionality of the Dragon Ball multiverse works in order for something to work, right? So, like, and here's the other issue, right? Here's the other issue, is that even if we tried to go with, okay, let's just go with the Google definition rather than Dragon Ball's definition, even bringing the Google definition of how we understand timeline, that would still hold contradictions.
Okay, are you done, bruh? You just like cut me off mid-sentence. So I'm not trying to force you into an argument at all. I'm just interpreting it as I thought you meant this thing due to the fact that it would make more sense to back up your argument. So if she's not gonna have this, if you're like just not gonna like assert the claim that she's gonna have a full basis, then I could just go off the fact that she's gonna have less of a basis on this going on than like someone else, like a Supreme Kai or like basically anyone who's just gonna have just more basis on these other things that a Supreme Kai has a basis on. So I can just take this as just Bulma not really being a valid source then if you can't tell me why she's gonna have a full basis, because if she doesn't have a full basis, then we can't take her as a valid source.
Yeah, no, valid doesn't always have to mean that they would have to inherently know the full scope. They would just have to know it well enough and be reliable, right? But the issue, where I'm arguing the reliability is the fact that it just fucking, she clearly understands the universe and understands its dimensional threshold in order to essentially more or less bypass them. And I don't know what's necessarily happening here, but it's almost like you just ignored the second part of my argument. Even if we favor your argument and say, okay, let's just use the Google definition, your argument would still hold contradictions.
Okay.
I blatantly ignored that.
Okay, I didn't blatantly ignore that also because I didn't go off of any assertion. I'm going to be using a Google.
You
Google,
did ignore
like,
it. You didn't attack it.
Okay, well, there was nothing in that held relevance to my main point, so there was really nothing to attack in that. So
your main point was arguing my.
Oh my god!
Your argument. Let's try to go through it again. Your argument was, I'm going to question the validity and the knowledge of X character, and if X character is not reliable and if they are fallible, then we can just use the Google definition of how timeline is explained, since this X person in Dragon Ball doesn't actually understand how timeline would really be defined. That's unironically what your argument was. So I addressed the argument that's currently at hand, and then I also addressed your argument earlier in saying even if has contradictions and what doesn't have.
Yeah, what we're doing is not letting me finish because I didn't even get like 2 words out. Dear God. Now
I couldn't give a shit.
Okay, I don't give a fuck what you don't give a shit about. You can't like try to have a debate with someone and cut them off every 2 seconds. They don't even get a word out. Now, I'm not going to be relying on a Google definition since I'm not going to be just thinking of Google as like a reliable source. I'm going to just be using a regular dictionary. Do you have an issue with that?
Okay, so regular dictionary can still be found by way of Google. Even if I say Google definition, that doesn't change the fact that you're still using a definition found by a dictionary that you're going to find on Google. That doesn't really change it. That's just getting semantical by that point unnecessarily. So what I'm saying here, and you literally just conceded to it, is that if if we go with like the dictionary definition, I'm still saying that argument, even with the dictionary definition, is still incorrect. It doesn't hold consistency.
Okay, is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's like the 3rd time that I've said it, yes.
Okay, because you're not really doing anything at all, and you didn't even let me finish my main point. Now, as I was going to say, first, you'd be just thinking that this character is unable to... Character is just going to
I never said that.
Oh my God, let me finish. A character is able...
Because at this point, you're just going to go down a slippery slope.
Dear God, you're not letting me finish.
You've already misquoted me.
Oh my, you're cutting me off like every 2 seconds before I even finish.
Well, stop misquoting me and we won't have that issue.
Oh my gosh, shut the fuck up. I don't care. Like, dear God.
Okay, so if you don't care, then don't be up here. You absolute fucking dumbass.